Welcome to Aaron Plays. This will be episode 6 of my playthrough, rules, analysis of Nemesis, Burma 1944 by Legion War Games, game design by Kim Ganger. Episode 6, and I'm still on the first turn. It makes me sound like I'm either very slow or it's there's an OCS beastie, and it's not. But a lot happens and a lot is going on, and there's many moving parts. So, at the end of last episode, I drew the Japanese third chit, 3rd out of 4, which is their attack chit. So we know that the 4th one they're going to have will be their reinforcements. So let's go through what the differences are between the assault chit and the attack chit. The assault chit allows full movement and 1 stack combat. You can attack from 1 stack, whereas attack is 1 hex movement if you have the quality to do so, which I'll go into in a bit more detail, but you can attack from multi-stacks in and around the target. Those are the main differences. So, moving back down to my main focal point, the battles in and around the Tidham Road. Okay. This means that the Japanese can only move 1 hex if their quality is good enough to do so. That means that they have movement points equal to their quality, and there is no minimum move. Now, with regards to a minimum move, in the assault, you can always, and as long as you're in full supply, you can always move 1 hex, no matter what the cost. If you were in limited supply, you were restricted by how far you could move, depending on you paid the full terrain costs, and there was no minimum move for that. And under the assault, you're limited by your quality. So the 3 different types of movement there, all working in the same game. Okay, so for example, this Japanese unit here with a quality 3, he can move 1 hex as long as it costs 3 or less movement points to do so. So he couldn't go into this escarpment here, or this cliffs, because that costs 4 movement points. Okay, I also would like to correct a little error that I had here. It's been here since the last time the Japanese did a move, whereas they've actually, in this hex, got 2 lots of motorised. You're only allowed 1 motorised unit, large unit in a hex, and 2 motorised units count as a large unit. So effectively in this hex they've now got 2 motorised units, which isn't allowed. So I'm going to have to put those tanks behind here. I mean, the Allies haven't had anything to do or interfere with that actual situation. So it has been a correction which had no effect up to this point. Right, so with that in mind, let's actually start moving these little guys. What's the aim? What are we trying to do here with the Japanese? I mean, they were trying to encircle these units, to cut them all off. That didn't work with a little counter-attack from here. We know the Allies have still also got their attack chit to come. So I think if we can take out this unit, and then this guy would be encircled, that would still be a result for the Japanese. So if we can try and emphasize this guy, there's no major strength here. So as in a large unit. And obviously we want to keep supply in mind. So let's move these guys up. So that's effectively one movement point. In here, this is an escarpment. So this guy can't move into there, because that will cost 3 movement points, 4 movement points. So that's as far as they're going to be able to go. And again, these guys can't go into here, because that's 4, but they can go, if I really wanted them to, here. But the guns can't follow, because mechanised units can only enter the mountains via the paths, or wherever there's a road or track in that hex. They can all move 1 hex to come down and force this attack here. So this is pretty much this southern area, one hex restriction. I can see an attack coming in here, and the restriction on 3 attacks is also enforced. So you can get multiple units attacking a hex, but you can still only attack 3 hexes across the whole map board. So, I mean, that would have been a better attack, cutting this guy off, but just can't get the strength there. There's only 4 strength points there against 3, so odds-wise, not great. Now, moving, I did this quite a few times in a previous video, so let's move into the central area of this section. Okay, so this costs 3 movement points to enter. So, can we mount a reasonable attack here? We can get these 2 units definitely in there. HQs and so with some artillery and engineers. Do we want to move the HQ in? No. We don't need to. Well, their qualities, yeah, actually, you know what? Why not? Okay. So this brings us to this unit. So his quality is 1, so he can only go into a hex which has a cost of 1, which is this nice clear ground there. He can't go into the rough, but he can enter there. They're still light troops, so this is a path, so they can enter here for 1, which means they've now taken that hex. Okay, now that's got a 2 value on it. And Mutagachi likes that. Again, earns the Japanese player 2 more points on the satisfaction track for General Mutaguchi. He's now at 9. So if he gains any more, his actual overall commander's satisfaction, Hirohito's, will raise by 1. Okay, so he can move along the trail. He's a 3 quality unit, so he can actually enter the mountains. Oh, well, it costs +1 to cross the river. So he can't. Alright, so he might as well go the same. Use the path. And the HQ will follow. Yes, the river is +1, which I forgot most of in, again, a previous video. And now let's move up to the northern section. Actually, I'm going back on that. Are we going to make an attack on here? So they've got a defense of 8 and 6 is 14. And attacking it would be 7 + 4, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So it'll be a 1-to-1 attack with better quality. Maybe. I'll have to have a think about that. Alright, so yes, going on to the more northern section here. So the Allies have actually toughened up here. 2-quality unit in the mountains. Alright. Well, I mean, the main objective here is Khmer, Imphala, and eventually to Dimpur. So this is seriously toughened up over here. This is a 3, 4. Well, there's a lot of Allied units there. Not much Japanese strength. Which way to go? I mean, I say the aim, if we can get to Imphala, so let's move him in there. Yeah, let's see if we can mount an attack on this guy. You know what, I think we're going to leave a battalion behind. So I'm going to break down that guy. He's going to go in there. And leave a battalion behind in there. And this guy's going to drop a battalion. And that dropped battalion is going to move into here as well. So we'll have 2 battalions guarding our gains at Okhuru. And we'll send some artillery in there and some engineers in here. And on the northern front there, I think those guys are just going to sit there. Okay. So that's on the Commonwealth side of the front. So now I'm going to move us along to... Alright, well, there's some action or potential action going up in the northern section there. Okay, so during this phase also there's none of those ambush placements, no bunker placements. It would really be nice to place a bunker in this hex. I cannot see any need for the Japanese to move in this section. They are, for all intents, struggle with that word, on the defensive. It would be nice to be able to place a bunker on top of that cavalry, but they can't in this phase. So, yeah, they're gonna hang back. No need to attack there. They don't really have the strength to attack. I mean, in this hex here, we have 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10 in that hex. 9 in that hex, so it's 19 against 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we are 1-to-1. Mountains, quality's the same. They have a bit more support. They might get 1 column shift, but that's an attritional combat which the Japanese really do not want to get involved in. They don't really have the numbers, whereas the Chinese up there, and especially on the Yunnan front, do have the numbers, and they don't want to get involved in a slogging match. They need to preserve as much strength as they can across the field there. So there'll be no actual combat in that section on the front. Moving down here to where we have the chin area. Okay, so I'm going to move this unit up 1 hex. I think everywhere else, do we want to be involved in a fight with these guys? No. We can just curtail them at the present moment. It depends on how many reinforcements they get. They're in limited supply. They're not moving too far. They are a pain where they are, but I'm not going to really do anything against them. And on the Yunnan front, purely defensive. No need to move. One unit falling back. Yeah, that's going to be about it for the movement side of the Japanese offensive. So, or attack chit. So let's go back to where the action is occurring. Okay, so this is going to be. I don't have to pre-declare the attack. So these are the 3 hexes I'm attacking. No, this is where I can pick and choose. So there will be an attack coming in here. They do have enough strength to push this through. They've got 4 plus 9 from the artillery. It's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 against 3. That's an 8 to 1, which is on the 7 to 1 column. Because there's only columns of 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, 7 to 1, 9 to 1. So they're on the 7 to 1 column. The attack's occurring in the mountains, which takes them down 1. The quality is 2, Japanese 3, it takes them back up 1, so it takes it back to 7 to 1. And then this attack is supported. There's engineers and artillery. As long as they've got 3 support points more than the Allies, well, the Allies have got none, that gives a column shift as well. So that takes them to the maximum 9 to 1 attack. Can't get much better than that. Rolling the dice, place it on the map, boom. 9 to 1 with a 2 is not too good though. So, because the 2 gives the Allies a satisfaction. Remember that you gain 1 slot on the satisfaction table for each time you roll. So in this case, the Japanese roll a 5 or more, or your opponent rolls, in case this will be for Slim, a 1 or a 2. So Slim has gained his first satisfaction point as this attack came in looking a little bit amateurish. So Slim has now gained, as I say, his first satisfaction. So 9 to 1 with a 2 result is a 0-1R. So it's 1 step loss on the Allied unit. It's only got 1 step. So he's effectively eliminated and goes into the Allied losses box. Now losses will increase the lament. So you don't get satisfaction for eliminating an enemy unit. You gain satisfaction for the die rolls and taking objectives. You get lament for any losses that you suffer. So it's 3 slots for each eliminated large unit, except garrisons, local rifles, and quality 1 units. That wasn't a local rifles, was it? It was no, it's a mixed unit of the 17th Division. Eliminated, that is worth 3 laments. So the Allied lament goes from 0 to 3. And the Japanese can advance in there. Got to be careful of the supply situation. So down here is 5, range of 5, and that's 1. Now this is a track, is 1 movement point per hex. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that hex is still a supplied hex. So let's move them all in there. They move through Tidham. I didn't actually mark that, which I should have done. So it's a Japanese flag. And they gain 2 satisfaction for that. So General Mutagechi goes from 9 back to 1. So 9, 0, 1. So that's 10, 11 effectively. And Hirohito goes from 5 to 6. With a big beaming smile on his face. A very successful attack in and around the Tidham area. Would have been better if, say, the supply route had been cut, or if they could have mounted an attack here. But you can't complain. They've done the job that they were set out to do. So, moving up a little bit. Now, this attack here. This is going to be a bit more tricky. And this goes back onto what I was saying on attack on the American and Chinese front. This would be an attritional battle. So we've got 4 plus 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 to 8 and 6, 14. That'd be a 1-to-1. Quality, we'll give them a column shift, so that'd be a 2-to-1. They've got 6 points of support, that's the ones with the yellow. They've got 8 points of support. It has to be 3 difference for a support to count, so there's no support there. So it would become a 2-to-1 attack. That's very attritional. They could just lose a step and not go anywhere. However, there's a 5 or a 6, 4, 5 or 6, and they'll cause a retreat. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. So as I've just worked that out, that is a 2-to-1. So they get, the odds is 1-to-1. They get 1 column shift for quality of the actual attack going in. Do they want to attack that unit? No. Yeah, let's go for it. So 2-to-1. 5 or 6 would be really nice here. Ooh, another 2. That's a little bit of a disaster. Slim's satisfaction goes up by 1. He's liking these uncoordinated Japanese attacks. The 2 results at 2-to-1 is 1-0. The Japanese lose a step. We will take it on the regiment. Oh, it's 7, so it goes down to a 4. It's not removed. So I place a regiment into the regiment box, and that is 1 lament, because it's a single step unit that's been taken. So that didn't go too well. Alright, and then moving up here, this is a bigger attack. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, whoops, and another 4, 5, 6, so 14 to 6. So it's 2-to-1. 1 column shift down for the mountains, but 1 column shift up for the quality, 3 against 2, and 1 column shift because it's supported. So it goes from 2-to-1, down to 1-to-1, back to 2-to-1, back to 3-to-1. So 3-to-1 attack. That's a little bit better. When we got through that off camera. There we go. It's a 5. Okay, so that time General Mutagechi gets a satisfaction point. He's happy about that. A 3 to 1 with a 5 is 0, 1R. Okay. So 0 means the Japanese take no losses. He takes a loss and then needs to retreat. Now he could take another loss, which would eliminate him, which would be foolish. So he'll retreat from there. And where would he retreat back? Let's go back to there. And the Japanese will advance. So again, I don't want to be careful of supply here. So if he advances into there, right, we will, so from this source here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got a range of 5, so we're going to leave the HQ there. Yeah, we'll advance the engineer in as well. Alright, so that's the 3. Oh, I'm leaving, just go back over that, there's a supply there, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, then he can throw another 4 forward, and that's 3 movement points into there. Remember, supply is thrown forward. So I had to keep the HQ back. So that concludes the Japanese attack. Chit. So the Allies have got 2 chits remaining. I'll give them a shuffle. Let's see what's drawn out. Ooh. It's the Allied attack chit, which I'll do in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Any comments? Much appreciated.